Hey guys, today I'm going to be reviewing the Indianapolis Motor Speedway, located in Indianapolis, Indiana. This racetrack opened back in 1912, between 1912 and 1916. It opened, yeah, actually I think it opened earlier than that. I think about 1911, somewhere around there. Very historic racetrack. It's famous for hosting the Indy 500 every year on Memorial Day weekend. That's Sunday. And in 1994, it got a Brickyard 400 date for NASCAR action in July. Now they run that race in September as the last race before the chase, but still a pretty exciting race, I guess. I mean, I don't know. It hasn't gotten too many good reps as a NASCAR track. It's more of an IndyCar exclusive track, in my opinion. But I went there for a race back in 2013. The Brickyard 400 it was in late July of that year. We went down for a weekend to explore Indianapolis, and then we went to the race, and then we went home. In my opinion, one of the most boring races I think ever in NASCAR history. Let's talk about what happened before the race. We got to go down into the infield and walk around. That's where all the shops were, all the trailers. That's where everybody was to shop and stuff. There really wasn't much outside of the racetrack to really explore. But when we were walking down, one of my more fond memories of Indianapolis was we got to walk down. As we were walking, a golf cart drove by, and I looked back at that golf cart, and I was like, someone looks familiar on that golf cart. I turned to my father, and I say, hey, that's Joe Gibbs. Before I can do anything else, my dad yells, hey Joe Gibbs. He yells Joe Gibbs, and Gibbs came over, and we got pictures with Joe Gibbs. It was pretty cool. It's the only owner I've ever met in my life. That was pretty exciting. I got some cool merchandise while I was there too. Went to a bunch of haulers and stuff and got some cool pictures. We actually had went earlier in 2013. It was like March or April. It was on our way to St. Louis. We actually stopped in Indianapolis and got to do a track tour. We had to go to the gift shops and all that. That wasn't during a race. We got to go up on all the pit boxes and stuff like that. That was pretty cool. And I remember I got a nice Tony Stewart car while we were there, and was able to go down and kiss the bricks. That was pretty exciting. Then let's get back to my July 2013 experience. I remember it being a pretty good experience up until the race. We got turn 1 seats up high, up at the top, and even then, Indianapolis is so big you can't even see the entire track from even the top row in turn number 1. I mean, we could see like the front stretch was like this way. And then, like, you could see the entrance to turn 2 was, like, that way. And then other than that, you couldn't see anything because it was so big. Well, luckily we didn't miss any action because there wasn't any action. Ryan Newman started on the pole, led almost every lap except for a few, which were led by Jimmy Johnson. They were the only 2 leaders all day long, and there were 3 cautions. 3 cautions. Now, it could have been a good 3 cautions, a lot of crashes. Could have been 3 bad cautions for just spins or engine failures or some other stupid reason. It was the latter. Mike Bliss, driving the 19 car, had a mechanical problem early in the race, brought out the first caution. He continued on. Then the second caution was for Jeff Burton blowing his engine, and that brought out a caution. And then Mike Bliss blew out his engine with again, bring out the third caution. Really, those are the only things that happened that day. No crashes, no spins, no fights, no anything. It was a really boring race, and though it was a quick one, it was bad. I mean, it's not a great experience for me to have. But I had a good day. Other than that, got some cool merchandise. I think it was Indianapolis is a good idea, I guess, for a NASCAR track. I can see why they You can see why they added it to the schedule. And it's had its fair share of good moments, especially back in the 90s and 2000s were pretty good for it. It was the site of the tire controversy of 2008, where in just the first 50 laps, like 12 tires blew out. And then that was a whole crapshoot of situation. Kyle Busch, since 2015, has really dominated Indianapolis from like 2015 to like 2017. Really dominated Indianapolis. Went back to back. That was really the low point, I think, of Indianapolis's run as a NASCAR track, because Kyle Busch basically dominated both races. Barely lost. Barely wasn't in the first place in either race. And kind of really killed the momentum of the racetrack and its fan base, because not a lot of fans showed up to the 2017 event. The ones who did, though, got a good show. There was a rain delay. There's a lot of cautions, lots of crashes, lots of excitement, especially in the last 50 laps after Kyle Busch and Martin Truex Jr., the only other car that could contend with Kyle Busch, were both taken out of the race. And that was a crazy final 50 laps. Kasey Kahne, pit strategy ends up working. He takes the lead after a bunch of failed restart attempts, a lot of big crashes, and it ended up getting basically called because of darkness, though it didn't actually get called because of darkness. NASCAR kind of covered that up because there was a crash in the back straightaway, and that was 2017 was the year with the overtime line. They chose not to throw the caution until Kasey Kahne passed the overtime line, because it was getting dark. It's like 9 o'clock or something when this race finally got over. Started at 1. And then it was like an 8-hour race. Kahne had heat fatigue after the race and everything. I mean, it was just crazy what had happened during the race. And I think that really brought Indianapolis back. Well, then the next thing they do, they just take it and put it in September. Like, it's cold in September. Well, not all of September, but most of September. It's cold. It's freezing. Well, not really. I'm kind of exaggerating, but putting it as the race before the chase was not a good idea at all for Indianapolis and for NASCAR in general. Many people want Indy removed from the schedule. My friend Brian is one of those people that wants Indy removed from the schedule, and I actually wouldn't mind if Indy got removed from the schedule. It's more of an IndyCar track, anyways. It's known for IndyCar. It's got Indy in the name. It's got the famous Brickyard for Indy, IndyCar racing. It's got all IndyCar stuff. They took away NASCAR from it. It wouldn't be that big of a loss, for the fans at least. But anyway, going back to my personal experience at Indianapolis, it was a good day. I'd probably rate Indianapolis on my one personal experience 6 years ago, 9 out of 10. Until the race, at least. Probably an 8 out of 10, or it's probably 6 out of 10 for the race. Even the best, probably 4 out of 10 actually, because it was so freaking boring. But I mean, it's a nice track, and I got to meet Joe Gibbs. That was nice. Actually, did get to see NASCAR Race Day. Forgot to mention that. We got to sit and watch NASCAR Race Day happen live. Don't know if we were on TV or not. I never checked, but thought that was pretty cool. Got to see some people there, and got to get some cool merchandise, and we got pretty good seats. I mean, it was pretty cool, the restart and stuff. But after that, I mean, just like when you don't have any crashes, I mean, what's that going to bring for the fans? I mean, nothing going to bring it for the fans. I mean, that was pretty much all. That was it. So yeah, I guess that's it. Oh, excuse me. That was about, for overall, probably about 8 out of 10 for Indianapolis. Wish I had some more viewing places so I could see the track all together. And I'd probably review during the race a 4 out of 10. Before the race, 9 out of 10. During the race, 4 out of 10. Which would average out to 6.5 overall in the day. Which, I mean, the race experience itself really took down from the end and everything. But if you went 2017, you probably would have rated it a 10 out of 10 because it was such a good race. You know, it just depends. You know, those little things do matter. Do gotta say, they have an Indianapolis museum there as well. there's some NASCAR stuff, but mostly IndyCar stuff because it's mostly IndyCar track. That's cool if you ever go there. Be nice to check that out. But yeah, I don't know. I mean, a track tour there is pretty cool. I mean, I don't know what else to really say. So, you guys, that's my review for Indianapolis. If you have anything else to add, please say it down in the comment section below. If you disagree with me, please tell me, because that was just my experience. If I had to recommend this track, I'd probably say no. If you have the opportunity to go to a different race, most of the time I'd probably say go to the other race. There's lots of other NASCAR tracks out there that can give you a better experience, can guarantee you a better experience than Indianapolis. If you have to go to Indianapolis, go to the Indy 500, because at least that's a very ceremonial type of experience. So yeah, guys, thank you for watching, and goodbye.